Hey everybody, Poker Dad here. I am here to do another hand review. Haven't done a hand review video in about a week, I think, or so. So this hand review is going to be from NL10, and we're going to see what happens here. I actually already have everything set up here in Poker Snowy. As you can see here, of course it's NL10, but as you know, if you've seen my videos before, Poker Snowy does not have NL10, so I convert it over to NL200. Um, and as you can see here in this particular hand, I am in the small blind with a king of clubs and a nine of spades. So actually, let me just go plug that into Flopzilla here. King of clubs and a nine. I'm sorry, it's supposed to be a nine of diamonds. Did I say nine of spades? I think I might have plugged the wrong card in here. Yeah, it's actually a nine of diamonds. So actually, let me take that out. It's a nine of diamonds. That changes everything, of course, especially if a nine of spades happens to come out in the flop. So anyway, um, I think this should end up being a pretty interesting hand. So let's just dive right into it. Um, so as you can see here, we are five-handed as well, and I'm in the small blind. So this first guy here decides to fold, and the cutoff decides to fold, and the button limps in. So the button just does a simple limp. The button is a 42-4, so he is definitely a fishy player through 77 hands. So he will limp in here. And so Snow is saying that I should limp in as well. Very interesting. Not something I would ever think of doing here from the small blind, especially with King 9 offsuit. Um, So I actually decided here to raise this up 30 cents. And I'm thinking now, normally I would raise it up to 40 cents. Or I would just fold it because, it's not really a hand I'd really like to play out of position. So I guess I see why Snowy would say to call here. But I do see some reasoning for raise. Okay, so fine. Okay, I raised it three big blinds. So I didn't raise it four, but I still think it's interesting that I did decide to raise this here up three big blinds. So I do. Yeah, again, I don't know how I feel about that. I think if I was playing today, I probably would not uh, would not do that because I'm going to be out of position the entire time with King 9 offsuit. It's just not really a great hand. So anyway, I will raise this up here, obviously, and the big blind folds out, and the button fish guy calls it. Okay, so let's come up with an opening range for the button. So he is at 42%. So I'm just going to actually punch up what I would have as a normal button opening range. Let's see, my button opening range here is 40%. So let me give him the rest of these kings here. And, he's a fishy player in the button. So let's just give him some more suited stuff here. I think this is good. Yeah, I think this kind of works here. Actually, you know what though? Let's take away these cards. The usual 3-bet guys. This guy here in 77 hands did not 3-bet once. So I'm not really sure what that means, but I'm just going to make it a really small range here because I'm going to say he would probably only 3-bet with these hands here. I could even make a case he wouldn't 3-bet with the queens. In fact, I'm going to actually take queens off here, and I'm going to say he would only bet with these particular hands here. So I think this is a decent range. Let me give the rest of the queens too. So I'm giving him a pretty big range, of course. He's on the button. He's calling me. He's going to be in position, and he's a rec player. So I think this is a pretty big range, and I think this is probably a type of range that we would be definitely playing verse here. So this is 41.3%, and the number of combos here is 506 combos. It's a lot. So let's go and see what happens here on the flop. The flop, okay, we get a 9 of spades. See, it was actually a good thing that I didn't have 9 of spades here, because a 9 of spades did actually hit the flop. A 10 of clubs and a 2 of clubs. All right, so Snowy is telling me to check here. So this is an interesting spot here. 10-9-2. So I could, let's see, this guy here, his fold to C bet at this point was he folded 2 out of 3 times. See, for me, I think I would actually C bet here. I hit a piece of the board. It's not a great hand at all. So many cards can come out that's just bad for me here. So I don't see the purpose really of checking. I feel like if I'm checking and a better card comes out here on the turn, there's a good chance that I'm going to be beat. So I feel like the best chance for me to win this hand here right now is probably going to be to c-bet it here. It's only 3 instances. He did fold 2 out of 3 times, so it's not like, I have to worry about, it's not like I have to worry about a raise. I feel like it's, we'll see. Let's see. I think definitely the c-bet is the right play here. Let's see what I did. I did decide to c-bet, so I gave, let's see what kind of odds I gave him. I bet 34 cents, and the pot was then off. So I bet um, I bet 33% of the pot. So a really, really soft bet I gave him. It makes you wonder. Maybe I just wasn't so confident in the 9 that I bet so soft. I don't really like that bet. I want to at least bet half pot here. I mean, there's no reason for him not to call my bet. I think this is a pretty bad. If I'm going to c-bet, and I'm probably c-betting to get him to fold here, I don't understand what this bet is doing, because he's on. He has these draws here, and maybe I can get him to fold to the draws with a higher bet. Maybe, I don't know. I don't like the bet. So definitely today, if I was in this hand, I would have done differently. I definitely would have bet larger, at least 50%, if not at least 75%. So I mean, let's see. If I said the pot was 70 cents, right? So I should have bet, I think, at least 46 cents. At least 46 cents here. A 66% bet, I think, would have been a better bet than this tiny bet that I put out there, which I'm sorry, it actually was a 50% bet. So it was a 50% bet. Still, I think I would still like to bet a little bit larger at 66%. I think 50% bet's it's just not really going to do much here. So I expect him obviously to call. So let's see what he does. Let me put that in there. So 0.34 divided by 0.1 times 2, so $6.80. I mean, it's not much more than what my open raise was. I don't like it. All right, so let's bet this here, and he just simply calls it. So let's see. What is he calling with here with such a big range? Let me put in the 9 of spades and the 10 of clubs and the 2 of clubs here. Okay, so my equity obviously at this point is pretty good against this hand. So let's see, sets, 2 pair, and over pair, sure. Top pair, yeah, sure. Middle pair, he's a fishy player, so yeah. These fishy players, they'll call with any pair. Will he call with a pair of twos? Sometimes these guys will call with a pair of twos or a weak pair, so I'm actually going to keep that in here, at least for this particular. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to tell you why. Because I know it's only 3 instances. He's folded 2 out of 3 times. I'm going to actually take the weak pairs out. So no twos, no ace high. No made hand, flush draw he'll call, open in a straight draw he'll call, gut shot he'll call that stuff, and all this stuff here. So let's see. We narrowed down its range 46% of what it previously was. And oops. So we took him down to 210 combos. Oh, did I screw something up here? I did. No. Did I not write? My bad. 46.7. Okay. 46.7%. 210 combos. All right. So this is interesting. I mean, what are we looking at now in terms of equity? Versus range, right? So we are slightly behind with this range. And this is the problem with the King 9. I mean, at this point, I don't like it. This is why I didn't like the idea of opening up the King 9 from the small blind with the button raise. If it was, I would totally be okay with the small blind open if it's just me versus the big blind. But, with the button limping in, I just don't love it. So anyway, let's get back to Snowy here. And let's see what the turn brings us. The turn brings us a 5 of diamonds. Interesting. So Snowy is saying to check or bet. I believe. It's tough. This is tough. So I'm behind right now. I feel like the 5 of diamonds doesn't really do much. So the question then is going to be, what would a bet accomplish here, right? We feel like he's on a flush draw. Could have a 10, could have a 9. So what a bet would accomplish here is me trying to get him to fold if he's chasing a flush, and me not giving him a free card. That would be my reasoning to bet here. I have his turn aggression at 28%. His bet when checked to, do I have anything there? 32%. It's an interesting spot. I think in a way, I almost, I think I want to check here. I hate checking, but I think I would actually check call this. I think I would check call this here because, he could be bluffing. He could also have a worse 9. Let's see what happens here. I decide to double barrel him here. All right, so I'm double barreling him with the 9s, and I know why I did this. When I see, this spot here, if you got 2 clubs and he bet, I'm like, these guys love to chase these draws. Let me at least charge him for it. And I think that's why I bet that. So I bet, let's see, I bet 66 cents. So the pot was $1.38. So I bet around 50% again. That I don't like. If I'm going to try and get him to fold, I need to bet at least 91 cents here. I really don't like the half pot bet here. Half pot bets for slow play. I'm trying to play fast here and get him to fold, so I really don't like it. 66 cents, 2.04. I'm giving him amazing pot odds. I'm giving him amazing pot odds to chase any draw, stay in the hand. There's no way he's folding to this bet unless he has completely nothing. I'm giving him too good of a price to just hold on here. I really don't like it. Okay, so my bet 0.66 divided by 0.1 times 2 is 1320. And he decides to call it. All right, so let's see now what we're calling with here with the 5 of diamonds. What's he calling with? Straight, of course not. A set. Yeah, I mean, he could be. Would it shock me if he raised it? I don't think he would. He's not aggressive. So I don't see him raising it. So definitely a set. I don't see him raising anyway. 2 pair. Yeah, an overpair with the 5. That's not changing anything for him. And top pair again with the 5. He's not like he's gonna fold. If he bet with top pair before, he's not folding again. All this stuff here, flush draw, open and straight draw again. He's not folding. Middle pair, a 9. Yeah, I think at this point now he's probably folding a 9. I think he's probably folding a 9 here. I don't think he's going to keep coming with a 9. Could he? Middle pair. These guys do call with that middle pair stuff. It's crazy. These guys do call with that stuff, which is nuts, I know. If he was like a reg or something like that, I would take away middle pair. But because he's a rec player, I'm keeping it with middle pair. I am. I know it seems crazy, but just I've seen these guys do it. So I got 44% equity against this guy. So there's the turn range. And we are looking at here 82.9%. So we didn't take away a lot. So it's a ton of combos going into the river. And so far, I really don't like how I played this hand. I really don't. From beginning to end, I do not like how I played this hand. So let's take a look here, see what happens. My definite concern here, of course, is that he has a 10 or he's on a flush draw. It's possible too that he's got 10. That he has maybe 10-9 of hearts or 10-9 of diamonds. He doesn't have 10-9 of diamonds, right? So we know he doesn't have 10-9 of diamonds. So 10-9 is pretty unlikely, right? Because the only 10-9 he could possibly have is going to be 10-9 of hearts. So I don't think he has that 2 pair, right? He doesn't have 10-9. He could have a set. It's just so unlikely because there's only one combo. Obviously, he can have a bunch of 10s. How many 10s did I have in his range here? I got a bunch of 10s in his range. Okay, so he's got a lot of possible 10s. He's got 51 combos of 10s. Top pair. I guess my concern would be any 10. I'm not worried about 2 pair. A possible set, maybe 10s. And that's really my concern. And a flush, if he's on a flush draw, then I really gave him such a great price. All right, let's take a look. The river. See? Look at this. It's a 7 of clubs. It's a 7 of clubs. So now, not only did we introduce a flush into the equation, we have now also I mean, what he could have a straight as what? A jack and an 8. Do I have jack 8 in his range? Yeah, I do. Jack 8 suited. So you could have a straight now, a jack 8. You could have a flush. The bottom line is he has a whole lot of stuff that can beat me. Whole lot of stuff that can beat me. I think I'm in big trouble here with my 9s. And this is part of my hand reviews, so this one went to showdown. Let's see what happened here. But I think I'm in big trouble here. So let's see what happens. I do check. Thank God. There's no reason for me to bet in this hand. This is a hand where if he bets, I just got to give it up at this point. So I do check. And he checks as well. So he checks as well. All right, so before we see what he has, I mean, we obviously now know he doesn't have a flush now that he checked. I think he's going to show up with a worse 9 and I even don't think he would. I think he would. I think he would bet a set. I think he's going to show up with a worse 9 or some kind of 10. That's what I think. So if I just take out some stuff here, I want to see what range I think that he checked with here. So obviously we know he didn't check with a flush. He's not checking with a flush. And we know he didn't check with a straight. He's not checking with a straight. Right? He could check with a straight, but I doubt it. Okay. A set. I don't think he's checking with a set. That 2 pair to 10-9. I don't even think he's checking with that. The overpair. He could. Top pair and middle pair. These are the hands that I believe he's checking behind with. So let's see if I can find out. I think it doesn't show me, so I got to go to the videotape. I'm going to pause the video for a second, and I'm going to find the hand, and we'll find out what he had. Okay, so I did win the hand. Let's see what the reveal is and find out what he had. It'll show us. This dragon is the guy we're looking at. He had Jack 9 suited. So he had Jack 9 suited. All right. Jack 9 of hearts. Jack 9 of hearts. Bam. There it is. Look at that. It's right there in the range I put him in. Jack 9 of hearts. And so he was just betting that 9. And like I said, I mean, these guys, they bet these middle pairs. Now, does that mean that all is forgiven and I'm happy with how I played this hand? No. No way should I have bet the... Well, I shouldn't say no way I should have. I really feel like I should have bet larger on the turn. I should have bet larger on the turn. Okay. I didn't want to give him a free card. And, then when he calls, obviously I check and he checks. Okay, fine. So it worked out, of course. And I was right that these guys will stay in with middle pair. And not a great kicker. So I just beat him on kicker is all I beat him on. But Jack 9 suited. Jack 9 of hearts. Exactly on my range I had for. And we won the hand. So, hey, look. We ranged it correctly. I'm pretty happy. So, anyway, thank you so much for watching. This is Poker Dad checking out. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. I appreciate it. Click the like button, anything you want to do. I love it. And until next time, Poker Dad. Out, 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 out. See ya.